Okay guys, today we'll be talking about using synthetic division to evaluate polynomials. So if you haven't seen my last video on dividing using synthetic division, make sure you check that out so you understand what's going on in this video. Okay, so the cool thing about synthetic division, we can actually evaluate using it. So for example, if we want to know when x equals negative a half in this function, we can use synthetic division to find that out. Now, you could take this negative a half and plug it into everywhere that you see in x and evaluate that way, but you can also use synthetic division. Okay? And so when we set this up, remember, we have to write any terms that have a coefficient of 0. So if we look at our function here, it's going from x to the 4th to x to the 3rd, and then it skips that x squared term and then goes right to x and then to the constant, which is 5. So we have to put a 0 in for that x squared term. So how this is going to look, we're going to write just the 4, then we write just the 2, and then we have to write a 0 for that x squared term that's missing, and then we go down to 3x, so just the 3, and then the 5. Okay, then we set up our division bar for synthetic division, and we have x equals negative a half. Okay, so remember, when you do synthetic division, it has to be in this form, the divisor. Okay, and we can see that if this was x plus 1/2, this is all equal to 0. Now we just have x equal to negative 1/2, which we have right here. So this is already in the form we need. We're going to take this guy, and we're putting him right here. So we have negative a half. Now what's going to happen here, our remainder when we do this is going to be our answer. That's going to tell us what p of x is, okay, when we plug in negative a half into it. Okay, so the remainder will be our answer. Again, you could also take this negative a half, you could plug it into the x, right, everywhere you see an x, and you can evaluate that way. But again, this is just another way you can evaluate a function, right, using synthetic division. So let's go ahead and try this. Again, we bring down the 4, and then we multiply. So 4 times negative a half, well that's negative 2. 2 and a negative 2, that makes 0. 0 times negative a half, well that's just 0. 0 plus 0, that's 0. 0 times negative a half, again that's 0. And then we have 3 plus 0, which is just 3. And we have 3 times negative a half. Well, that's just going to be negative 3/2. And again, this is going to be really negative 1/2. So 5 and negative 1/2, that is going to be 3.5. Right. So our answer here is 3.5. So when p of x, when we plug in negative a half, the answer will be 3.5. That's what p of x will be, 3.5.